Hello, my name is Nathan, and today we'll be discussing on Book Talk Castro's Curveball. It's written by Tim Wendell. This book is written in a point of view of a minor league baseball player named Billy Bryan, and he's trying to play in Cuba. He's trying to make his way to the big leagues, but he's kind of at a stopping point in his career because he can't seem to really get traction in the club, and he's hitting okay and he's playing okay, but he's not great, you know. So here's the book itself. Fidel Castro was a huge political figure, and rumors and stuff, old legends and stuff, kind of say that he played baseball and he was actually pretty good at it. So this book is written, and it's a fiction book, but it could very well be non-fiction, just the way it's written. He goes and says that Castro was a really good baseball player and signed a professional contract to play, but it all kind of disintegrated at the last moment because he was trying to overthrow the Cuban government. So this is in the point of view of Billy, and he's playing a game one day and he sees a group of protesters. One of the protesters goes up to the mound and thinks he's clever, and so the guy goes and throws a curveball, and he says it's one of the best curveballs he's ever seen. It breaks incredibly sharp, and it's really... After the game, he goes down to the bars and casinos and everything in downtown Havana, and there's a pro scout down there, and he says, "Hey, I heard there was some protester today that could really throw a good curveball." And so he sends Billy on a journey where he's got to find this person who he learns is Fidel Castro, and he's really got to find this person and try to bring him to sign a Major League Baseball contract with the Washington Senators, who are... Billy, along the way, when he goes to find Fidel, it turns out that Fidel is... he's trying to kind of play baseball and lead a revolution at the same time, so he kind of has to go all across the countryside to find him as he's busy leading protests around the nation. And they actually go and invade an island off the coast of Cuba, and it turns out that he failed in that, so he decided to become a baseball player, and he actually did sign a contract, but the whole twist of this story is that he's not sure if he's going to stay in it or not, and so that's something you're going to have to read for yourself. I don't want to spoil that, but along the way, Billy, when he meets Castro, he meets a girl named Milena, and that kind of forms a love interest during the story. So I'm going to read a passage from the book. This is when the scout, whose name is Papa Joe, when he's actually watching Fidel throw a curveball. It's, I think, the day or two after he throws it when he's with a group of protesters. Okay. Castro peered in at me. He went into his windup, and as soon as he turned his torso and his arm came through, I knew this was going to be a beautiful pitch. The ball spun through space, its path a perfect downward hook. A pitch that would have handcuffed Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, Jimmy Fox, any of the great ones. Again, said Papa Joe, as if he couldn't believe what he'd just seen. The next curve was as gorgeous as the first, breaking nicely down and across the plate. A batter could know it was coming and still have a tough time hitting it. Yes, Papa Joe said, scribbling volumes now on his clipboard. He was sold, but he wanted to see more, maybe just for his own enjoyment. And Castro indulged him. Curve after curve he delivered. As perfect as... So, a few things that I really liked about this book. The pace of it. It was fast but not too fast. There was never really a slow moment. There's a lot of times when he's playing baseball and then immediately he's off on an adventure with mostly trying to find Castro, but there's a lot of points when him and Milena are really realizing that they're falling in love with each other, and they make trips across the country to find Castro, but they're together for a lot of it. And you know, there's conversations and things that happen along the way that really feed into the story. The pace is good again because it takes place over a couple of months, but it doesn't seem like it, because his baseball club, the Havana Lions, are trying to reach first place and win their league. And remember, this is just a winter league, so it doesn't mean a ton, but to Billy it really does, because this could be his future on the line here. This is his chance to make it in the big leagues. it means a lot to him, but then Papa Joe really wants him to go find this other prospect, and he's kind of conflicted as, well, should I help this guy who might be able to help me play, or should I just focus on playing and see if I can help myself reach it? So there's kind of a conflict there as well. Again, the things that I really liked about this book were there's so many different genres in here. Like it fits into the fiction category, but it could be like if you split each part of the book into like a little subgenre, there would be like a sports book in there. There's a history book in there. There's a romance book in there. There's even some action, as far as fighting and escaping the police and a whole bunch of really good stuff. So as far as recommendations to any reader out there, I would say that well, I was about to say if you like books, read it, which I think you could, but I think just about anybody could like this book, even if you're not a real big sports fan, because like I said, there's enough baseball in it to keep the sports fan interested, but most of it's not about baseball. And so it kind of gives you that, if anybody's read Friday Night Lights, it's kind of the same, where that book's about football, but not really. This is about baseball, but not really. If you don't like any of the above, if you don't like history, if you don't like sports, if you don't like action, this book is not for you. It's a pretty easy read. It's not that long. Here, look, it's not really that thick of a book. So if you're one of those readers that judges a book by its thickness and cover, this really isn't that bad of a read. I enjoyed it. I think you'll enjoy it. And thanks for talking on Book Talk.